legend and, after this story, hero to men everywhere, Ben Zobrist, who retired after a 14-year career in baseball, learned that his wife was having an affair with their pastor, and according to court documents that surfaced last week, the same pastor was accused of defrauding Zobrist's charity of apparently hundreds of thousands of dollars. The 40-year-old ex-infielder seeks $6 million in damages from Byron Yawn, who is the pastor. He also is seeking money from the pastor for damages for defrauding him and, sleeping with his wife. But Zobrist is a two-time World Series winner. Like I said, Chicago Cubs legend, MVP with the Cubs for that World Series. Like he brought that city the championship essentially. So Ethan. So not only did this pastor, this guy, defraud Zobrist's charity, not only did he make him question his faith in the Lord, but he also slept with his wife. What do you make of all this?
Zobrist is a saint, man. Like, he's a serious Christian. He loves his faith. He has a bunch of kids. I'm getting confused. He's a great guy. There's so many stories of him just being a sweetheart around the stadium, around the Cubs. He's a humble guy. He would ride his bike home and to and from home to stadium every day, Wrigley Field. Oh wait, there's Ben Zobrist on his bike, like fucking World Series MVP, just casually on the bike ride. Like, the guy's so humble. He's such a nice guy. He's always got a smile on his face. He was such a big part of not only the World Series win, but when he was with the Cubs, like he was always reliable. And you just breaks your heart. Like, wow, like his wife, who is supposedly like a Christian rock genre, so she's supposed to be a good Christian, like went and slept with the pastor of all people. Like, not only that, like he's their counselor. He was their marriage counselor. Like,
right.
He was, and apparently, like, he's like, okay, you should give us some space. Like, that's what he would advise Zobrist. And like, yeah, so I could go sleep on the side. Like, come on, dude, get out of here. Like, how you gotta do that? Yeah, it's awful. Like, literally, you're scum of the earth, those two. Yeah. Like, and I know they were when these allegations. When the rumors first started to come out, I want to say it might have been 2019. If I remember correctly, Zobrist, he took the whole beginning of the year off. He didn't come back till maybe August or late July, because he was just he didn't want to be at the stadium because they broke his heart. Like, and there's a lot of rumors like, oh, she slept with a bandmate, she slept with an ex so. I didn't hear that, like, oh, she didn't sleep with the pastor. I was like, holy shit. Like, all of those, like, the fact that she was just sleeping around. Hang on. There's a little noise. The fact that she was sleeping around, it's like, come on. Like, I guess really nice guys, they just can't get a win. Zobrist is the definition of a nice guy.
Man, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
The fact that it happened to such a nice guy, obviously.
Yeah,
and, like, look, I'm not going to... We don't know everything about their marriage or whatever, but the optics of this are just
oh my god, yeah.
shit.
They always look happy. They have I think the two of them for Halloween, him and his wife, and at least his 3 kids. They all dress up as Power Rangers. Everyone's happy. They look like a perfect couple that actually want to be together, because they love each other. And then she's off doing who knows what, on tour, or with the caster too. Yeah. So
man.
And then there was some hope when he came back. Everyone was like,
Hey, welcome back to the show where keeping it real goes right. Welcome back to Real Take Football Talk. Today we're going to be previewing all of the action from this week's NFL Week 6 Sunday edition. A lot of fun games on tap. Before we get to any of that, though, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. So, like I said, a lot to talk about. Hopefully everyone can hear me. I've had to change up the studio situation just for a day. I'm traveling. But a lot of great games. We got the Jaguars and the Dolphins going at it right now, and the Jaguars are just getting shellacked as always, going for their 20th straight loss. Also, the Vikings will be taking on the Panthers in a battle of two teams where we have no idea what they actually are. Chargers and Ravens do battle in a huge AFC contest. Also, Rams at Giants. We have Texans at Colts in a divisional matchup. Chiefs taking on the Washington football team. And I'll tell you why that's one of the most interesting games to keep an eye on today. The Green Bay Packers taking on the Chicago Bears. And also the Bengals taking on the woeful Detroit Lions, who honestly, I feel so bad for Detroit. They just cannot get a win. They just cannot get a win. They're 0-5. They've been in most of the games they've played this year. Actually, hold up, because I did not plan for this. Let me go get some light on. All right, I don't know if that helps at all, but we'll see. Anyway, but you also got the Bengals taking on the Lions. I'm interested to see what the Lions can do. If they can rattle off their first win, it would help the Ravens out a lot. Also, the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Cleveland Browns, 5-0 versus 3-2, 5-0 versus a team where we know they're good. We know they have the talent, but can they put it all together? That is the biggest question mark rather, for the Cleveland Browns. And today, a lot of those questions could be answered. Dallas taking on the New England Patriots. The Patriots trying to stay in that AFC playoff race somehow, some way. But if anyone can do it, it's definitely Bill. The battle of the two AFC West teams, who are exactly who we thought they were in the Oakland Raiders and the Denver Broncos. You also have the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday Night Football. And tomorrow night, we got a special live stream for this one. The Buffalo Bills will be taking on the Houston Texans, as you can tell that. Well, a dog just walked in, so I had to go give her attention. She'll probably make an appearance at some point, but lots of fun games, lots of stuff to talk about. Just an amazing time when you're not where you're supposed to be for a stream, isn't it? But yeah. Oh, let me see if I can do this. All right, Mango. Tell the people, who do you think is gonna win? Who do you think is going to win, Mango? Tell the people. No? You think the Ravens are going to win? Yeah, she thinks the Ravens are going to win. Okay. So that was Mango. Anyway, but a lot of fun to talk about. We'll do a stream tomorrow night for the Bills and Titans game. Anyway, let's start off with the first game. So right now, the Jacksonville Jaguars are getting beat by the Miami Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa is back, and I think that was the result that everyone was expecting. The Jags, even though they play like 4 or 5 times in England as the home team, they're just not a good team. I don't see any home field advantage in that. They're gonna lose. They are losing 20 straight for them. Moving on, let's talk about the Vikings versus the Carolina Panthers. So the Minnesota Vikings, up and down season, very apropos of Kirk Cousins and everything he's done or hasn't done rather at this point in his career. I see this team falling to the Carolina Panthers, who I think the Carolina Panthers are one of those teams that they probably overachieved slightly in the beginning of the year, starting 3-0. And then you see the injuries to Run CMC, you see the injuries to their secondary, and now, they've gone through a little bit of a rough patch, losing 2 straight. But one thing that I think is going to keep this team in it is they have good coaching, they have a good quarterback play. They just got more depth at the cornerback position, so I could see them kind of mending that. They're a team that's going to be in flux for a couple of weeks, but give it like maybe 2-3 weeks, this is going to be a team that is still going to be in playoff contention. You can book that. That is why I have the Panthers winning this, and I'm going to go with the Panthers in this one, 20-16. We've seen the Minnesota Vikings. They're just weird at playing down to any sort of competition. They always play at their competition's level. Sometimes they underplay it. They only scored 7 points last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't really see them improving on that either. So 20-16 will be the final in Carolina. Let's talk about the Giants versus the Rams. So the Giants and the Rams, Giants are 1-4, Rams are 4-1, two reverse records, two very different teams. While the Rams are an offensive showcase, the Giants are just an offensive joke, especially without Saquon Barkley, especially with the potential injury that Daniel Jones might be dealing with. We know he was in the concussion protocol. You know he's doing better now. He's probably going to start. But that doesn't mean he's 100%. That doesn't mean that Giants fans should feel good because he doesn't have his best weapon in Saquon Barkley, because he also is probably it's also been proven that he can't be protected to the level that the Giants need to protect him at if he's going to succeed. So that's an easy one. I'm going to go with the Rams here. Sorry, Giants fans. I like Daniel Jones. I like the Giants. I love Saquon Barkley, but I'm going with the Rams here, and I'm going with the Rams kind of big. Rams win this one 35-20, so 15-point lead for them. Now let's go talk about the Colts hosting the Texans. Colts 1-4. Really sad loss to the Baltimore Ravens last week. Really demoralizing loss for to the Baltimore Ravens. And then you have the Texans, who are a different type of 1-4. Their quarterback is out because of allegations of assault. You also have the Davis Mills experience, which, God bless him, really feel really bad for him. Also feel really bad for Tyrod Taylor getting injured in his first game. But I think it's I truly think that loss to the Baltimore Ravens for the Colts was so demoralizing that it's going to carry over in this week. I truly believe that. I think that this is a team that was at the cusp of truly winning their first game. This was a team that was at the cusp of truly getting that first win that would have propelled them into some sort of playoff contention. But now that's just not going to happen. Now that's just not the case. Now I think we're going to see probably a team like the Titans in that race, and honestly by themselves, because who else is there left to challenge them? The Jaguars aren't good. The Texans aren't good. The Colts aren't good. The Titans might just run away with this division at like 9-8 or 10-7, and not a great record, but still good and good enough to definitely win that division. So I'm gonna go with the Texans here to get their second win of the year, and I'm gonna go with the Texans 23-17. I think the Colts are going to keep it close, but I just don't think they're going to be able to finish. We saw that last week with Baltimore. I think it's going to repeat here, and the Texans are probably overdue for a win at this point. Let's keep it going and talk about the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Washington football team, and this is a very interesting game that everyone should keep an eye on. Kansas City Chiefs are 2-3. So are the Washington football team. Something's got to give. A lot of people are expecting the Chiefs, after demoralizing loss to the Ravens, demoralizing loss to the Chargers, demoralizing losses to the Buffalo Bills, just one after another. Eventually, they have to win, and you would think that there's no better team to get that win to kind of maybe put together a little bit of a run here to end the season, or to in the middle of the season, not end the season, but there's no better team right now for them to face than the Washington football team. I'm going to tell you that's not exactly true, because one thing we know about the Washington football team is that front seven is tough. Chase Young is no slouch. Montez Sweat is no slouch. Like, they are going to come after Patrick Mahomes, make his life uncomfortable, and his receivers might get open, but he's got to be able to get rid of the ball before that. We know Patrick Mahomes, one of the things we've seen this season is the receivers drop balls. He might not have the confidence in people like Tyreek Hill or Mecole Hardman that he would have otherwise. They've been dropping balls. They've been not finishing routes. Patrick Mahomes has been holding on to the ball for too long, which you can't do against his Redskins front seven. Sorry, watching football front seven. Sorry. But the big deal, the biggest thing is you need to be able to stop Patrick Mahomes' run game. And if the Chiefs try to focus on that run game, I think they're going to get stuffed because, again, that front seven is just too good. So Patrick Mahomes today, the key for him is to get rid of the ball and get rid of it quickly. But I will tell you this. This is not a bigger test for the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a bigger test for the Washington football team, and specifically Taylor Heinicke. We've seen Taylor Heinicke, the good, the bad, the meh, and today is going to be the biggest test for him because this is a win. This is a 2-3 football team he's going against. This is a weak defense, a significantly weak defense that has glaring flaws in the run game, has glaring flaws in the secondary that he could take advantage of. And if he wants to prove that he is the guy in Washington, if he wants to prove that he is the guy for them moving forward, he's the franchise, whatever, he needs to be able to take advantage of these types of opportunities, no matter if Patrick Mahomes is on the other side of the ball. He has to play well, and if he doesn't, this is going to be, honestly, I think, we're going to see this is probably going to be his last season in Washington as the starter. But I have the Washington football team in this one in an upset here. I got them 23-20 here in the upset. I think that front seven is going to get to Patrick Mahomes just one too many times, and that's going to be the story of the game. So move on and talk about the Green Bay Packers. Packers are going to be taking on the Chicago Bears. Now, Justin Fields has been playing well since Matt Nagy got off play calling, which is exactly what everyone wanted to happen in Chicago. So that is a great thing. You have Justin Fields playing his game, doing exactly what he needs to do, focusing on the run game. That is something that the Chicago Bears did not do. Focus on that run game. Huge test, though, against the Green Bay Packers, who obviously have Aaron Rodgers. They obviously have Devontae Adams. They obviously have Randall Cobb, and they also obviously have very little to no defense. So we'll see what happens there. The dog wants me to open the door. 1 second. Man's best friend, they say. Anyway, but so Justin Fields is going to be a big day for him to kind of see, what he can do in this first matchup ever with Aaron Rodgers. That being said, this is going to be Green Bay Packers all the way. I don't see the Chicago Bears winning this unless the Chicago front, which is playing very well, gets to Aaron Rodgers a lot. But I got Packers in this one. I got Packers 30-21. Let's talk about the best game as far as the 1 o'clock games goes. Let's talk about the best game as far as the 1 o'clock game goes. Honestly, I think the best game of the entire weekend, and that is the San Diego, not Los Angeles Chargers. Yes, the San Diego, not Los Angeles Chargers, taking on the Baltimore Ravens, 1 p.m. This is interesting for multiple reasons. 2 4-1 teams. 2 teams that are just rattling off wins. The Baltimore Ravens have won 4 in a row, including the past few in just amazingly stunning fashion. You had Justin Tucker's kick 66. You had the 16-point comeback in the fourth quarter last week on Monday Night Football by Lamar Jackson, breaking the NFL record for accuracy in a 400-yard passing game. So I believe truly that the Baltimore Ravens, they have a lot of momentum coming into this. Now, the one thing you can say also is the Ravens have shown that their offense has been kind of sluggish to begin games. And the only reason they've really been in games still at the end is because the other offense probably didn't have the firepower to really overtake them or overpower them. That is not the case with this Chargers offense. This Chargers offense with Justin Herbert, Mike Williams, and company, it is no joke. Austin Eckler as well. This is a team that will burn you if you don't take advantage of your opportunities on the other side of the ball. They will burn you. They will score points. We saw what they did to Cleveland last week. That was a shootout. That was 47-45. Or 42. That was a big shootout. They're able to score, and they're able to do it at will sometimes. Justin Herbert might be the best passer of the ball I've seen in a long time. As far as the way he throws the ball, the velocity, it just increases when it's in the air. So he's someone who, honestly, if you're in the Ravens secondary and your name isn't Marlon Humphrey, you got to be ready. Anthony Everett, Stevens, you got to be ready for that ball to come your way. But But this is really going to come down to can the Ravens, like they did in 2019, can their offense get it going early? We understand they've had injuries on the offensive line. They're still going to be dealing with those injuries today. We understand they've had injuries in the backfield. They're kind of figuring that out as well, what the rotation is. And this is still a team that I think is going to get better as the season goes along. But at a certain point, you can't just solely rely on YOLOing Lamar Jackson and telling him to play Lamar ball in the fourth quarter and hoping to bail you out. At some point, you have to start games, continue to do well, and finish games all in the same run. So that is what the Baltimore Ravens have to do today. That is what, if you're a Ravens fan, that's what you're hopefully expecting them to do today. And my whole thing with them is, if not now, when? Baltimore here, I got them in the win 29-26. Actually, hold up. No, sorry. Baltimore Ravens 39-36. That's what I'm going to go with here. I think it's going to be a little bit of a high-scoring game, 39-36, but Baltimore's going to squeak the win away with a Justin Tucker field goal in the fourth quarter, because why the hell not? He's made 16 of 16 anyway. Moving on. Cincinnati Bengals will be going up to Detroit, which means the Detroit Lions will probably be losing. Last week they lost, and Dan Campbell cried. Shame on that defense for making Dan Campbell cry. But Detroit's a frustrating team because they have been in a lot of their games, almost all of their games. They very well could be, 3-2, 4-1, even, like if we're counting, how close some of these games were. So it's very difficult, the fact that they're 0-5. They haven't even gotten a win. Dan Campbell is a great coach, I think, especially for that young team that is not finishing games. And I think over time he's going to be fine. But if I'm a Detroit Lions fan, I want to win. I genuinely want a win this year, because it's just the way that the Lions have lost. It's one thing to get blown out like the Jacksonville Jaguars are doing and have really no hope of winning games. But the Lions have just been almost served dinner, and then right as they're hungry, right as they're about to eat, taken away on a silver platter. So I'm going to go with a little bit of an upset here too. I think the Bengals, they have some they have some issues in their secondary as well, but I'm going to go Lions here, and I'm going to go Lions 23-21. Book that, brother. 5-0 Arizona Cardinals going up against the 3-2 Cleveland Browns. Cleveland has been an up-and-down team. One week they score 14. The other week they score 41. What is this team? I have no idea. Baker Mayfield is inconsistent, yes, but he is really good when he is on. That running game is no joke. On the other side of the ball, or on the other side of the field, though, you also have Kyler Murray. You also have D-Hop. You also have people on defense like J.J. Watt. Now Zach Ertz, even though he's not playing today, Zach Ertz just joined the Cardinals, and he's going to be a difference maker for this team for the rest of the season. So if I am the Arizona Cardinals, I am banking on the fact that if they put the ball in Baker's hands, you're going to be able to get the pass rush to him. Chandler Jones, J.J. Watt on either side. They're going to get to Baker Mayfield today, and they're going to make his life difficult. And we've seen when Baker's life is made difficult and they over-rely on the pass game, it is not a good recipe for the Cleveland Browns to succeed. So I'm going to have Arizona in this one. I'm going with Arizona here to go undefeated, to remain undefeated, 6-0 here. I'm going to go with them 35-28. Cowboys, Patriots, Dallas Cowboys doing very well, 4-1 in sole place in the AFC or NFC East. And then you have the Patriots who are trying to rattle off some wins. They're 2-3 right now, and they've been playing well. But I'm going to go here with the Patriots. I think Bill Belichick's going to put out a very good defensive game plan. And I also believe that the Cowboys are kind of due for a loss. So, Cowboys fans. Anyway, in the battle of the two most confusing and honestly, actually not so much confusing. In the battle of the two most untalented 3-2 teams, or 2 weeks ago, the most untalented 3-0 teams. You have the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Denver Broncos. Both teams started the season very well. They have lost a few games. John Gruden, obviously, out as head coach in Oakland because of his racist, homophobic, and misogynistic work emails, rather. And then on the other side, you have the Broncos, who just, I think they play you play who you play, right? But they played teams that were 0-9 as a combined record going into week 4, so as their first 3 wins. So come on, they're exactly who we thought they were. With that being said, I think that the Las Vegas Raiders hopefully can get past all of the drama and all of the news that has happened in the past week, because they're the more talented team, because they have more firepower, because John Gruden's out of there now. The distraction is kind of lifted from their locker room. So I think they're just going to try to focus, and Derek Carr is a guy who's been around for a while. He's going to be able to focus. I think everyone else, Darren Waller and company, are also going to do the same. And the Broncos just don't have the talent to keep up if the Raiders are on. So I'm going Oakland here. I'm going Las Vegas. Jesus. I'm going Las Vegas Raiders here. 28-21. Finally, the nightcap, you have the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Seahawks obviously dealing without Russell Wilson today and for the foreseeable future. He just had surgery to repair ligaments in his in his thumb. He's going to be out for anywhere from a month to 2 months, which is a big deal. That is a huge chunk of the season, potentially 8 games, potentially 6 to 8 games. Russell Wilson is probably going to be missing. That is not good. It's also not good they have Geno Smith in as quarterback. I'll say this, Geno Smith played very well, but that was also in relief, so you can't judge too much of that. You have to look more about how he does long-term, and long-term, I just don't see him helping this team get over the edge. For the past few years, we've seen Russell Wilson was the difference. Russell Wilson was the guy who, time and time again, bailed this team out. I don't think Geno Smith's going to be able to work the same magic. Pittsburgh is not a great football team, but the Seahawks without Russell Wilson are even worse. Pittsburgh wins this one. They win it 38-21. And finally, we also have the Monday night game, which we will talk about tomorrow night on our stream. So join us here. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button. Hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. And in the meantime, guys, keep it real. Cubs legend and, after this story, hero to men everywhere, Ben Zobrist, who retired after a 14-year career.